it's hotel tax money or this one or any other means to help enhance the situation here in the city, I'm all for doing that. I am never against that. But again, you know, when we begin to see a lot of these donations, not projects, coming in, I get concerned.
Sure.
That's all.
Yeah. And this exemplifies my point. When I mentioned it to you guys, that this, you know, you have to be careful. How you're going to have to find a way to decide what goes on and what doesn't get paid and what gets funded.
Yeah, and
so,
I don't think we've come to the point where we've listed a criteria, you know, items 1 through 10 or whatever it takes, so that we use that criteria for every single request that comes in.
that'll be perfect. Once I have that, then I know exactly, and then I'll research the law and make sure that we get the proper direction for that.
Okay, is there any recommendations how we should proceed with the new business? Items A through E?
Well, courtesy, I would suggest that we go forward with them.
Okay, consideration and action and presentation, title sponsor sponsorship. Request an amount of $15,000 from the Floresville Event Center. Mrs. Turner, City Manager.
Well, thank you, Chairman. Okay.
You're on the hot seat.
Oh, no. I want to apologize, Chaz, our director can't be here tonight, so I'm subbing for him. Okay, and you already have the information, and as Mr. Gonzalez has said before, he knows we cannot use hotel motel tags to do fireworks. That is one of the two-step things they definitely say that. And so historically, EDC has been the lead sponsor over the last 3 to 4 years that we've had one to do the fireworks and be a title sponsor. As you see attached there is all of the information of what a title sponsorship would receive. I've attached that as we are actually soliciting other sponsorships. Due to our time, so hopefully if you all decide to have a workshop and decide how you would have the criteria to do that, I'd be more than happy to attend at that point in time to let us know going forward. We will still hold a spot for EDC if they decide to be able to do that. But if you have any questions for the EDC has the city in reference to the sponsorship, I would take that this time in the future.
Mrs. Turner, when is the deadline for that one?
Well, actually, we would probably need something by 1st of May.
So y'all do put up billboards and stuff, right?
Yes, we're going to put up the first billboard in May. That we have already been able to do that, and we already have a.
I would say though that we actually have this. I don't know the budget for make sure it's right. We have this budgeted in the line item for marketing. In our budget from last year was $10,000. So I know that they had some other things.
Well, we're having some local entertainment, and I think we used Mr. Baker used the number that they used before. This is a 2-day event rather than it used to be a 1-day event. Now it's a 2-day event. So if you like, and out of following up the discussion, if we could hold your item, or please don't take a vote and say no yet, to have your workshop so I can have clear direction. So when I actually request of different projects, I'm glad Mom and I will have a project. We will definitely meet your criteria. I just don't know what the criteria is.
And can we have the history from previous to see what it brought into Floresville? Does someone have that? Was it a 2-day or 1-day or hotel
2-day
usage?
Yes.
Money.
I can tell you, Fred knows better than I do. We cannot use hotel motel tax.
Arbitrarily, the law says that. I don't believe in it, but that's what the law says.
Cannot use hotel motel tax for
the fireworks.
But fireworks.
May I bring
Fireworks.
This is for fireworks.
Fireworks.
No, but this become like a market. Yeah.
May I bring a point now to our discussion we had earlier? In my opinion, I'm saying to myself, okay, based on what you told me earlier, how does this meet the requirement of 505-158 that undertakes a project and facilities expenditures targeted improvements found the Board of 30 to promote new or expanded business development? How is that going to promote new and business developments when it's just a fiesta? Fiesta is hot funds. Those are, you know, you have advertising, put heads in beds. So if you're interpreting correctly what you told me earlier, then you err in your opinion, because you cannot do that. You have to have a reason.
That's exactly what we need from you, a recommendation on that.
Just so you know, Sylvia did do some research on all of these items.
Okay, so she did.
On 3A, the question she poses is, does this qualify for hot funds? request it.
No, he does not.
Well,
Well,
I'm not sure. Frankly, I haven't been there, I'm not sure.
It does,
I know the
because it puts
fireworks
heads in
is
beds.
It's
qualified.
not qualified. If you look at the two-step for Texas, it definitely says, all the other things working with the chamber, it specifically says in there that you cannot use hot funds for fireworks.
No, but it can be used for the fiesta itself,
For the
Right.
fiesta.
to fund the fiesta.
But it brings that kind of feeling by
But
showcasing
only
your town by
if-
marketing.
And so this, I mean, this is your legal opinion here. This is your attorney telling you.
Trade the
So I don't- I
responsibility.
mean, I'm gonna argue
This
with it.
does
Switch it.
before we come to the meeting, not at the meeting.
So like I said, I look forward to your workshop so that we can be able to do that. I'll go
Yeah.
back and do my stuff so I can be ready.
You're
to
requesting
say-
it with that.
But I think it's
table.
important that you, if you're going to follow the letter of the law, in which you just told me right now, and you basically address these situations, then you need to follow the letter of the law. And that says that if you're not putting development, business development, economic development, then they don't qualify, period.
How does that, if you're marketing your town to bring development here, I think that's the way.
Okay,
the
how,
previous attorney- I'm just
my question is, kind of devil's advocate, how do you center that particular question to bringing in new business? How are you gonna bring in new business by somebody coming to a festival, enjoying themselves, drinking, having food, and that's more tourism, that's more attraction to the hot funds. Not, and I've dealt with them specifically, I've worked with them for years. I have a lot of experience with these things. And I'm telling you that right now, if you're gonna follow the letter of the law, then you're not gonna be able to fund these things that you're looking at right
Now,
now.
that's what I'd like to hear from you, if that's acceptable to us, we'll find out later, but that's the kind of thing that I want to
You have your
hear.
legal opinion.
Everything
You
that
said
comes.
it does count or doesn't count?
No, she said that it does meet the criteria for chapter 51.
On the hot funds.
Enhances and promotes tourism.
That's right, absolutely.
For promotion of the arts and professional
I have to
programs.
respectfully
Mr. Attorney,
disagree, because previously, and he was the chairman of the Hotel Hamilton, they have clearly said that we cannot use them for fireworks.
That's what was interpreted by the TML.
I think she mentioned that. But I mentioned, Mr. Padilla, she mentioned in her email to me that you have 30 years of governmental experience as well. So, I mean, we need to have some clear direction here from our attorney, because I needed to have that information, I didn't get it. And I should have had that in my pack so I could have distributed
But
to the board
TML
members.
makes a recommendation that you cannot use, and their directional summary of how to do hot tags, they specifically said, based on TML, that you cannot use hot tags for fireworks.
Well, that may be
Why
the
we have
case,
not.
but I think I'm giving you clear direction pertaining to an event funded for a fiesta or anything of that nature does not qualify under the Economic Development Act of 505-158. It specifically says on B,
Those were two.
and so it's right here. It tells you very, very clearly.
But you're saying something, but I didn't hear you read it.
Oh, let me read it to you. Okay, projects related to business development in certain small municipalities. A, for a type B corporation authorized to be created by a municipality with a population of 20,000 or less. Project also includes the land, buildings, equipment, facilities, expenditures, targeted infrastructure, and improvements found by the corporation's board of directors to promote new or expanded business development. Period. There it is right there. It's clear as daylight.
So movies help what? You
And the
promoting
bottom line is
movies.
create new or.
Business
sustain-
development, economic development.
So we can use that same line that you can say that you're saying you want to do movies, how does that clearly go with what you just read
Well,
right
see, Ms.
there?
Turner, again, I'm not an attorney, and we're not attorneys.
Sure.
But I just read you this,
So,
and
like I said before,
our
I'm
attorney-
looking forward to the workshop that will be open to the public so that people who come in to request funds can clearly get a criteria of how it's going to be funded. Because to go back to your argument, historically, EDC, before there was a Julietta, EDC funded fireworks. So that's where I'm at, and I look
thank
forward to your
you.
criteria.
You just made my point, because that's exactly what happened to me
Before
when
we-
I came in, and the
Before
president
we-
was set.
before we
So I
leave
followed
this,
president.
I think, Johnny, you and I agree on this, that the fact that they said arbitrarily again, but they're the law. If they said no firecrackers can be funded, they say other things about other activities that are very much like the ones we approved under hotel motel tax. But I'm saying, don't stop there, look at the other aspects of it. Do they bring people to town? Do they stay at hotels, motels? Do they qualify on that basis?
Hot
Not
funds.
necessarily the fireworks.
That's hot funds.
Yes.
That's hotel
That's what
motel
I'm
tax
saying.
funds.
I don't wanna stop her short of everything that we can do.
Okay.
But for what you know-
Again, we should get a very clear, defined, so my charge as executive director to ask you as our legal counsel, we need clarification on those particular points. Does the request for the Freedom Fest and other items such as that qualify or does not qualify under the presented statute that we just saw?
Well, we also have the
501.
505, 152 projects related to recreational and community facilities,
Look at the whole thing.
tourism. Yeah.
Look at the whole.
So, I mean,
Oh,
Yeah,
this
we're
is
just
so-
reading a small paragraph there.
okay, and so that's what you need to get legal direction from your attorney. Your executive director cannot do that because this is a legal question. Now, I can work with the attorney to get a clarification, but this requires, like everything else, a correct legal opinion.
What is the wishes of the board?
Well, Mrs. Turner needs to know by the first part of May, right, Mrs. Turner?
Yes, just so that
We
it,
Okay,
should have
so-
a workshop pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna change whether they meet the criteria for this office or the 4B funds. I don't think it's gonna change that, but we need to have it as soon as we can.
Yeah. So,
And your opinion that is, it should qualify.
My opinion is that it doesn't qualify on the fireworks end of it, and I don't think it qualifies on anything else. I think it qualifies for HOD funding on some aspects of it. And having worked the two, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not an attorney and I can't give you a legal opinion. But to me, when you read the requirements, you're under 152, 158, or whichever one of those quotes that we had in the handout, it just doesn't get there. And I'm not talking about this one here only.
And this occurred as a result of what triggered it was the question Ms. Castillo made, and a very legitimate question, which I have been arguing and, basically debating all along. This is what we need to make sure, what we're funding and where the money's going and whether it's substantiated by statute and, whether we're legally complying with the act. I've always warned y'all about that.
So should we have a motion, Mr. Attorney, can we table items A, B, C, D, and E? In one motion? Is that the wishes of the board until we have a workshop?
Do we have any one of these requests here of the five that comes close to meeting the things we discussed here? I
Sylvia
don't
has a thing that
think
she
so.
read out.
I mean, for us to go ahead and table all of them, we have to have at least an idea that the others are in the same boat as the first one.
Okay, let's go one by one then. For item A,
We're gonna make a motion to table?
yeah,
I'll make the motion to table.
I second that.
motion to table item A by Reed, second by Castillo. All in favor say aye. I'm sorry, raise your hand. 6-0. Item B, consideration of action and request from Portable Chamber of Commerce to donate $60 for 200 bill for their Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April the 20th.
Do we have any?
Do
Do we have any?
Right here, sorry. Is that?
Yes.
Okay, so we're just wanting to do, we feel like promoting businesses is the best way to go to help support the Chamber of Commerce and bring more businesses into our town. So we're giving the different businesses opportunities to donate eggs. We're asking each of them to donate 200 eggs. We have about 2,000 now that are being donated. And so I think our hope is that we at least get around 100 kids there. So that'd be like 20 eggs a kid. But ideally, we'd like to get as many as we can, so each kid can go home with a good basket of eggs. I get calls all the time as the chamber president asking what kind of opportunities we have in the town. People looking to move into our town, and they've got kids. I think to build this town, we need to promote activities for families. And that's what we're trying to do with the chamber, is to build the community, and when they move here, they bring their businesses here. So
Okay.
we also want the businesses to be able to be there and to showcase what they're doing. So if y'all want to contribute, awesome. If y'all don't, we've got lots of businesses already contributing.
Mr. Rodriguez, do you have any recommendation on this?
I have no recommendation on it at all.
And this is April the 20th. You know, might be out of line here, but I don't mind, just out of my
Yeah,
own
so
personal pocket.
That's what I was saying.
I got $20 right
Yeah,
now.
I'll pitch in 20.
Yeah. I'm
Why don't we just give it to
thinking-
Johnny, then,
Yeah, well, that individual, let's just.
Yeah.
Give it to her.
yeah.
So do you have a motion on the table?
No, we're just gonna give you mine.
So how are you gonna vote on this?
Well, can we collect it now?
I don't know about $20 cash.
How are you gonna vote on this?
Right.
Table it, not,
Well, it
Motion
surely
to-
doesn't qualify,
I
so
do have $20
I
cash.
would say.
okay, so what are you gonna do with the item? How do you propose to move on?
Here you go.
Not to accept?
Here,
We'll stuff the eggs.
we'll do two, we'll do 100.
You did better than you thought.
Okay, so Ms. Castillo, you have a motion on the table?
Yeah, those kids are gonna do good.
What's your motion now?
Thank you.
Not to accept. Here's $20.
Okay.
Well,
They did better than.
I know, right? This is gonna be awesome.
No, we're not gonna do this with the others.
But that's okay.
Luckily, you were first.
Okay.
All right, well, let's just, motion not to accept?
Right,
Is there a
because it
second?
doesn't qualify.
Okay, is
I
there a
mean, just
second?
looking at it, it does not qualify.
Second by Gonzalez, all in favor, raise your hand.
I wanna know what Sylvia said.
Okay. All opposed, motion carries 6-0, not to accept.
Mr. Gonzalez, a second?
Yes. Okay, next item, CNA presentation proposal from Ms. Silvia Madero requesting $1,200 to $1,500 from FEDC funds to support and promote a 2019 Florida Lions Club car show. Ms. Madero,
Yes, sir.
you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I want to apologize for not being here last month. I don't know the FEDC rules. I did not know that my presence was required, so I apologize. And I did read the code, the local government code, and I'm not an attorney, but I read 505.152, 505.155, and section 505.158. And the way I read it, I believe that the FEDC is fully capable of supporting this event. The auto show brings out many of our citizens into the downtown area because it is an entertainment event and it is family oriented. And additionally brings the whole local community together. You have over 24 businesses downtown that as a community must have our support in order to survive. In creating publicity and promotion, downtown brings the community and tourism together. It says, and in bringing this event, this is from people outside the area. Some of them stay in our hotels, which provide contacts dollars, and many eat and shop in our city, which not only helps our local businesses but adds sales tax. With your sponsorship, we welcome the FEDC to have a booth where they could further promote all the benefits of Floresville. We are respectfully requesting marketing dollars of at least $1,200 to $1,500 for the FEDC to become the sponsor of our vendor area and to enable us to invite vendors to show and market their businesses for free, thereby investing and supporting the economic development of Floresville downtown, which will in turn bring revenue to the downtown businesses. Most of the best restaurants in the downtown area are located around the square.
Is there any questions or?
What did Ms. Sylvia say about this?
This is
Item,
3C.
Item C.
Henrietta has a
I got
question.
one. I got one.
You
In reading the 2017 Economic Development Handbook by the Texas Municipal League, it reads, Type B, job, only projects which are not required to create jobs, professional and amateur sports and athletic facilities, professional and amateur sports facilities including stadiums, ballparks, and permissible Type B, which is why you could do it for the sports complex. And then they say entertainment, tourism, and convention facilities. Entertainment, tourism, and convention facilities including auditoriums, amphitheaters, concert halls, museums, exhibits, and also you can do parks, park facilities, and events, and other space and improvement are permissible by Type B projects. This is under 2017 Economic Development Handbook, Texas Municipal League, that says the projects which are not required to create primary jobs.
Ms. Turner, if I may, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. It's a little irregular for us to be getting direction on a legal issue, which this is the purvey of the attorney. And this is what I pulled him over to the side right now and just told him, you need to come with a very clear, concise, legal opinion. And the firm needs to provide that to the FEDC. We can go on and on right now with all of this, and I think it's highly regular that we do that because it'll confuse the issue. We have to get a clear understanding from our law firm. That's basic what we need to do.
That's what I'm saying, Sarah did prepare a announcement. As far as PC goes, she says yes. As long
Okay.
as it enhances and promotes tourism and hotel industry enforcement.
Okay.
Advertising professional practitioners.
So basically, you're asking us to take over the
Vendor
vendor
area.
area
The
as like a
Yes.
sponsor for, and they
So
don't
they
have to
can-
pay to come.
Exactly, they will be coming for free.
So say you give them, what do you charge per vendor booth?
$25,
$25.
$60 for 1,500.
So you
60 booths.
So you
for
can provide
1,500.
60 vendors to come for free this event downtown.
Any discussion? Is there a motion?
What are the recommendations of our technical people here, the attorney and the?
So the attorney thinks it can
Yeah.
be?
The attorney says that it can be done, and it meets the requirements, so
Just like-
we're gonna go with the legal opinion of the attorney.
So you're recommending to take the legal opinion?
I am following what our legal counsel is telling us.
Motion?
We as a board have to decide whether it's 12 to, I mean, the amount, right? Because it
Yeah.
says 12
Mhm.
to 15.
The motion contains it.
The motion on the floor?
Is this something that the FEDC has to man, or what? Say that again? No.
No, I think she just said in her speech, I mean, we were getting up during it, which I hope we don't do in the future. But if we could have a booth there as well, and that'd be good for us. I mean, Johnny can maybe put up a booth, he can take off around on Friday and be there and, you know, help promote, as he's out talking to businesses, say, maybe get with Sylvia and help. I mean, that's the whole thing of marketing the town, and it's not like we're going and having a night out on the town, we're actually getting vendors to come in and showcase it and bring them to downtown.
What you could do is,
So, I mean-
you can read the motion as written, and then just decide how much your motion will be, for 1,200, 1,500, or less, or more. She's asking for 1,500.
Well, I was just asking the questions.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I still would like to have a little more information from our legal person here as to how it meets the criteria.
It says as long as it enhances tourism and hotel enforcement.
So that's some of the HOT things.
But it's not a 2-day event, Fred, so like how did you can't put heads to beds on it for the tourism. And then, but
I'm sorry, but you know, what can I say about that?
well, we also gotta, when we sit there with $30,000 in our account, and we have to market our FEDC to our community as well. So, I mean, what else we spend marketing dollars on? What's the question?
Sure.
I would tell you the event, it does bring people into the downtown area who then go into the local stores and are spending money at the shops. Sales tax.
So, it's good? I mean, I don't know, I mean, when is the due date for this one? Because it's
Our
this,
car show is May the 4th.
May the 4th, well, it's right around the corner, so,
I-
like Henrietta.
Let me make one comment here, and this again, I'm not the legal guy here, the legal guy is over there, I'm not the ED, he's over there. But in my experience and reading what I've read, when we talk about economic development, we're talking long range, bringing in people that are gonna stay here and provide all the goodies that they provide, being residents of Forestville and working for a company, making money, putting it back in the economy. When we talk HOT, we're talking night or 2 days or 3 days, but a kind of a temporary influx of infusion of money. But to me, the two things are so different.
Yeah, I think you just gotta look at the event. I mean, you gotta look at the sponsorships. Some of them are, I mean, you're looking at a festival, 2 eggs, 2 tables, something like this where it is specifically designed towards an economic development portion of that. I mean, I've attended the event too in the past. I mean, I can disclose, I'm a member of the Lions Club, so that's why I kind of step back on talking about it. But you see the stable business there, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, and to showcase theirs. They have a big old tire they blow up, so it has some long-term.
Gentlemen and ladies, these are some of the sponsors that we had last year, all over.
Do we have time?
Plus Richardson Brothers was our main sponsor.
Do we have time to discuss this in our workshop?
That's May 4th.
Well, I
Is
don't,
there-
she needs to have, you need to have a
Well,
decision.
yeah, they gotta be able to tell people.
Yes,
they,
sir, so that we can
charge them or not.
email the vendors and tell them.
But I mean, this can be after the event? I mean, you had it last year without.
No, what they're doing is, last year they charged the vendors so much a spot.
Okay, so
This
now-
is, you're taking on marketing and becoming a sponsor of that event, so then they don't have to pay to come to recur that fee, because then there's a fee coming to the city, you have to pay the city a food handler's license and things like that, so, and some of the business that come, the Lions Club pays for that one license for everyone to be under, so there, you have to,
I'm not misunderstanding what we've
Yeah.
got here, and I'm not against having this kind of thing, and I certainly would like to sponsor it to the extent that we can, because it's good for Floresville. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I've been in this business, you know, on a voluntary basis for 10 years now, trying my best to do what you're trying to do. Again, the only concern I have, and I've expressed it, and I'm not necessarily the person to tell you technically, or finally, you know, which way to go. I can't.
Is there any, is there a motion that we can give to the Lions Club?
So what's the amount that you recommend, so, since, I mean,
Right now, sir, I'll take it.
But here, again,
Open up your-
I don't think
open
the
up your
amount
wallet.
is the key. The
Yeah.
amount is not the key.
yeah, I know.
I
But I mean, if you
suspect,
feel strongly-
the more vendors
Yeah,
we
I'd
have.
like to make a motion.
Yes, sir.
I think if we're at 60 businesses, I'll make a motion to provide $1,500 for this event, to sponsor, for businesses to come for free, so that.
60.
60, if not more, to come to fill up downtown and promote their businesses.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Reed to support $1,500 as a co-partner in the Chamber of Commerce, I'm sorry, the Lions Club car show. Is there a second to that motion?
Rick, you mentioned you had a conflict of interest
Yeah.
with it, but you made the motion.
I'll make a motion that I'm a member of the club,
Okay.
but I'm not in any way part of the planning committee.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Just a member. You tag that on if you want.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, raise your hand.
All right,
All opposed?
I'll abstain.
abstain.
Four.
Because we don't have enough sufficient, I mean, what if this is a no, then what? I mean, from what Fred is saying, I mean, we're really not sure. So,
402.
yeah,
It passes.
is that okay? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
For the
mean, we have that
city.
right,
a
Sharon.
legal
That's all right.
explanation.
Yeah.
But it requires 4 votes, they're.
Yeah, 402.
Okay.
Okay, next item. Well, Ms. Turner, I'm going to ask you to stand up and read that clause.
Thank you.
No way?
I'll wait.
Okay,
I'm looking for the criteria, so I can apply it, so when I come back.
okay.
That's it.
Item D, consideration and action, presentation request from Mr. Alton Shigamba from Consolata Healthcare to participate in a sponsor of the golf tournament.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all for this opportunity. What Consolata Health Foundation is all about is all the money we raise goes to buy equipment for the hospital so that we as taxpayers and we the people of Wilson County own this hospital here in Conley Memorial Hospital. This is not owned by anybody outside of town. It's owned by right here, the member and the people of Wilson County. What our money we're working to raise this year is to help to increase our pediatric rehab center. We get that thing convinced from where it was at Gonzales Warm Springs into Wilson County Rehab Center. There's no rehab center for the pediatric care from San Antonio to Corpus Christi. Floresville will be the only one within the center of this part of the country down here. and that's where our money is gonna be raised for. Again, like I say, every penny that we raise from Consolide Health Foundation goes directly to buying the equipment for the hospital. It does not go to the general fund like a lot of foundations do. Ours goes all there. And we have several members here. We got Mr. Reed and we got Gloria here.
Previous member, I'm not